Look around Facebook and do a little research on crybaby lawmaker John Gillette and see the kind of lies he's been spewing out all over the internet. This crybaby is threatening a journalist, which is a violation of the United States Constitution, civil rights, specifically our First Amendment rights, which John Gillette is using for his own morbid antics and attacks on minorities, and specifically women. What's this dude's problem with women anyway? How come he can't take on a man? Only a coward attacks women. Now he's attacking freedom of speech. Gillette must not have had any attention from mommy. Here's where the hypocrisy comes in. Here's a quote from a cowardly deputy who had to resign his position because his internal affairs complaints were about to be made public. On June 16, 2022, John Gillette posted, "I do not have a political record, but what I do have is a record of achievements. I get the job done. I am a critical thinker and I develop unique solutions to many complex problems. I have sworn an oath to defend the Constitution, many times since the age of 17, in service to this great nation. When elected, I intend to do the same. Thank you for your support." Can you believe this crybaby, hypocrite, and liar? John Gillette is unstable, and his background consists of abuse, turmoil, accusations, and formal complaints. He is a whiny crybaby, and I am very surprised that he doesn't identify as a female. He forgot to add to his background all the formal complaints that have been made against him, and the fact that he resigned his position because he came under investigation, and now he's threatening journalists because they are exposing him and his ridiculous rants against women and minorities. Gillette needs to move on and go get some help because he is sick and an embarrassment not only to the Republican Party, but to the Democratic Party as well. Look at all the articles written about him. They're all over the internet.
In Arizona, an elected official in Arizona is calling for the execution of a sitting United States Congresswoman, Pramila Jayapal, from Washington State. In the wake of all that's taken place, he's calling for her killing, for her execution.
This did get the attention of the highest-ranking Democrat in the U.S. House of Representatives, who's now calling for the Arizona legislature to take some sort of action. Now, we did get a chance to review the original video that got all of this started, and at no point did the Democratic Congresswoman call for any kind of violence or overthrow of the government. In fact, it was quite the opposite. She was advocating for peaceful protests.
We want to help you seed, participate, and coordinate these nonviolent resistance actions.
That was part of a video Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal posted on her YouTube video nearly 6 months ago. Last week, a social media account called Patriot Oasis posted part of Jayapal's video without context, while claiming it was a clear call to violence. But it wasn't the editing that raised eyebrows. It was Arizona Representative John Gillette's response. The Republican lawmaker posted, "Until people like this, that advocate for the overthrow of the American government, are tried and convicted and hanged, it will continue."
Bipartisan fashion to reopen the House.
Democratic House Leader Hakeem Jeffries is now demanding the Arizona legislature take action. A spokesman for the GOP House Speaker did not respond to our questions about Gillette or if he could face any punishment. Gillette did release a statement suggesting that he is the one being taken out of context. He said, in part, "I specifically stated trial and conviction, due process before any punishment. That is important context that was ignored by tabloid media who initially reported on my post."
Gillette is playing victim in this episode of the usual drama going on in politics. However, in this case, it's John who's being the drama queen.
What?
First off,
Oh.
he was too lazy to watch the whole interview with Jayapal, in which she explicitly stated that she was calling for nonviolent protests, which are protected under the First Amendment. Hence, no treason in her words. Even so, lazy Johnny boy, with his laziness and insane attacks, couldn't watch the full interview. He could only watch an edited out-of-context clip of 30 seconds. That's how seriously this man take his duties in government to his fellow Americans. Later, he attempted to backtrack from his initial call for violence against a fellow elected representative by leaving out the hanging part in his screed and focusing only on the tried and convicted part. Then he claimed the media took his words out of context, which it did not. Rather, It was Gillette who took Jayapal's words out of context, and who then called for her political execution. John is a liar, a psychopath, and intellectually challenged. He has no business in high office, or in any public job. He's a ticking time bomb who needs therapy for his anger issues. Make Arizona great again, by having John step down from the seat he's publicly disgraced.
And this is not the first time Representative Gillette has found himself in hot water. In fact, just recently, House Republican leaders dismissed an ethics complaint against him for referring to Muslims as, quote, savages. And in the past, Mr. Gillette has referred to the January 6th rioters as, quote, political prisoners.
An Arizona lawmaker is under fire for his Islamophobic remarks, and Arizona Republicans just gave him a pass to continue. And on the 24th anniversary of the September 11 attacks, which led to a rise in hate crimes against Muslim Americans.
Republican Arizona lawmaker makes a post on X calling for the execution of a Democratic congresswoman.
And I don't know what you think about what political violence is, but when the state, when the government executes someone, that's about as politically violent as it gets.